where machine means meaning. And today we are shifting gears, as we always do, into exciting mix of car technology, industry news, and of course local policies that are shifting behind the wheel. So as always, I want you to buckle up because we're going to start off looking into car talk happening in our industry. Of course, this show will not be enough, will not be complete without you coming in on 0719 100 404. And of course, we've got our usual coming in, helping us understand what's been happening in the car industry. Starting off with our favorite car enthusiast, who also happens to be a car marketing officer, coming from Zimoko, Tafadza Nyabuta. Taf, good morning. How have you been?
I've been good, thank you, and good morning, listeners.
We also have with us our favorite car detailer. Now, if you ever need your car picked apart, cleaned to detail, this is the person you need to be looking after, Ms. Lily.
Hello, darling. Thank you so much again for inviting me.
It's always a pleasure having you in. Now, let's get right into what's been happening in the last few weeks. Let's talk about the dark matter motor. Tough, help us understand this serious talk. It's just been unveiled. Electric motor with about 800 horsepower, 1,250 newtons of torque. Wow.
That's massive.
And it's only weighing 39 kgs. Talk to us about
That's
that.
39 kg. So first of all, it's a very dramatic name, dark matter.
Yeah.
But I think it has to do with
the first one is the one that got me tongue-tied.
Koenigsegg. So
Koenigsegg.
this is an electric motor that's been designed by car manufacturer Koenigsegg. So Koenigsegg is a very interesting company because it actually produced the fastest accelerating and decelerating car, just upward of 250 kilometers per hour and back to zero in about 19 seconds. So we talked about this car, I think, a few months ago, but now they've gone one up. They've now created this electric motor, nicknamed or called dark matter, which has a fusion of carbon elements and also new age technology, which puts it in a parallel series to make it a very compact, very lightweight, and ultimately very powerful. The performance figures you talked about are very true: 800 horsepower and 1,250 newton meters. This is massive, guys. Let's put this into context. That's about the same power as two average, well-spec'd double cab cars, all in one small electric motor. I was going to call it an engine that weighs 39 kgs. Now, the trump card about this is that you can put these motors in parallel series, which means in a car you can have up to 4 on each wheel, or you can put them up as maybe 4 in a row to power a single configuration, which is maybe the rear wheel of a car. Very powerful. Now, it's a big statement from Koenigsegg. It's a big statement for the motor industry. We keep talking about it week in and week out. We are going electric. And this is another showcase from a car manufacturer that's known for making performance vehicles, now starting to favor the power output of electric motors, and have developed one that's going to shake up the market and maybe push certain technologies from different other car manufacturers to build powertrains for their vehicles. Very, very interesting. I think it's definitely worth mentioning.
All right, we're talking about a car that is clearly a supercar weighing just under 40 kgs. We're looking at 800 horsepower, 1,250 newtons. Your advanced 6-phase system that Taf has just been talking to us about. Now, Taf, first question I want to throw at you. It's so interesting. We're in the season of supercars.
Yeah.
We've seen quite a fair bit coming in the last 4 months, actually. Is this the future of supercars?
This is the future. So I see in the middle to short to middle term.
800.
Yeah, that's a lot of power. But you know what? Figures, don't look at the figures too much. 800 horsepower, 1,250 newton meters. If I was in a car with this motor and I put my foot down at the accelerator flat and fast, it will all be lost in wheel spin. And I would have a very big battle controlling that car to keep in a straight line. So, there's no mention of traction control systems, how to manage the power.
Right.
Because this is a lot of power. And remember, electric motors have instant torque. So this kind of power demands professional level driving skill. So it's not going to be for the average person.
Right.
Or if it is put into an average car, it's going to be very, very controlled. So what is noteworthy is the potential that this engine can bring. We have traditional ICE vehicles right now that are electronically limited to maximum speeds. This engine or this electric motor will definitely be one of those things. If put into production cars, will be limited so that normal people can manage the power.
So there's a lot of futuristic jargon in this car, like the Raziel or Rexiel. How do you say that one? Flat technology.
I'm not even sure myself. I read it a few times. I wasn't even sure.
What exactly is that to the average driver? I'm wondering.
So this is a new technology that optimizes both power and torque, but in a small dense package. So this is why it explains why this car is, this engine, I keep calling engine and car, this electric motor is only 39 kgs, because the form factor due to this new technology means that everything is dense, which means that the electrical components, all of the components mixed together with the carbon fiber are all in a very small space, but doing a lot of things that maximize the power output and of course the torque of that vehicle.
So let's talk about carbon fiber construction in terms of cars, and this is why it's less than 40 kgs.
Yeah.
It's like almost my weight, to be honest. That's a very light car.
Yes.
Talk to us about carbon fiber construction in cars.
And
I'm also thinking kuzogeza yasiyana kane masimbi datajaira yane.
Well, yeah, it's true. Carbon fiber is favored, especially in performance vehicles, because of its lightweight and also its strength. It's stronger than steel in some aspects. Its impact absorption rate can be better depending on how it's configured. So it's the perfect mix of strength and lightweight. So the way to get cars to go faster is to increase engine power output and reduce weight. So that's how cars get faster.
Right.
The fight is getting lighter. So using carbon fiber in a configuration like this, one, it's resulted in a very light electric motor. Two, it's also resulted in a very strong housing and components for this motor. It's a perfect marriage.
Yeah, 0719 100 We're talking about the new Connie said car, dark matter, that's hitting the road. Very light, super fast, with efficient technology that's giving it all the lights and the glam. And thank you for clarifying that this is not an everyday car. This is a racetrack car. Nonetheless, the technology is reflective of what might end up on our roads. Do you think this kind of technology can easily end up in our country, maybe like in 10 years? Or do you think this is not going to happen? Do you think motors like this one can actually end up influencing our car market in general, but also as a Zimbabwe market? Taff, I want to ask you that question, and Lily is going to come to you, especially in terms of carbon fiber, and also in terms of how this might influence our car market in the future.
Yeah, so 100% yes, it's going to come to our market. Maybe not such scary figures like this, but technology like this influences the entire motor industry. Now, let's talk about something practical and people can absorb and understand. Let's talk about tractors. Tractors are known for being slow, but known for one thing, being powerful. Performance figures like the 800 horsepower or 1,250 Newton meters means that the rotation force around that, the wheel going round, relative to any obstacles or resistance factors, will be neglected by such an engine in a tractor per se. So those are sort of performance figures in, say, commercial application or agricultural equipment or bigger equipment that's mobile, like bigger vehicles. It makes sense. It's smaller and lighter, which means that vehicles can tow or pull things, but don't necessarily have to be bigger. I remember seeing a movie some time back where you had your, for lack of better words, your truck trailers being pulled by a very small car the size of an average size hatchback. So if you have performance figures like that, it can become a reality perhaps. Of course, there's other fundamentals that come into it, but the application itself has got some uses for bigger cars. For smaller vehicles in the race or performance sector, massive. You want this. You want light, small, but powerful.
It's Under the Hood every Thursday. We are looking at all things to do with the automated industry. Still to come, if we manage to get that in, we're going to be doing our face-off highway code question. We throw that at you. Let's see how well you know your road rules. And of course, you get to come through and guess the car icon. But first, Lily, looking at carbon fiber construction.
Yes.
In terms of detailing, are you seeing any potential challenges as far as looking after a car like this would look like on an everyday car?
Well, it depends on how much support is underneath that fiber body. So buffing, we have our buffers that correct paint, and if it doesn't have, I've experienced fiber before, and it was a very hard buff. I could not put pressure, my body pressure, which gives you great results. iPhone yoke but ninge tamba tamba.
Oh.
Yes. And then you've got an issue where the chemical companies are going to be screwed. They don't have rust issues anymore. That's the nice thing about the fiber.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So it's a better alternative. Is it necessarily cheaper?
No.
No, it's not necessarily cheaper. Saka masimbieda scrap metal is
Much
still
cheaper.
good.
Much cheaper.
It's still much cheaper.
Yeah.
All right. And in terms of the technology that's coming, because a lot of our cars are getting touch screen, there's a lot of tech in that car. In terms of cleaning, because it's easy to mess it up and stuff. Now I'm thinking you've got a lot of touch, you've got a lot of tech going on in there in terms of cleaning.
Right. So for a regular person with their gardener or themselves cleaning their cars, they must invest in proper sprays and proper towels so that you can avoid shocks, electrical shocks,
Right.
and keep destroying your car.
Or a murky display after you've been trying to clean.
Yes. So you need a very good product that I actually happen to be making myself for glasses and plastics. So it's a stick-free product, and you spray it one time. It also will dry itself up, and then you wipe
as long
over.
as I've known you, I did not even know you're making your own detailing products.
I've just learned something new as well.
How does this happen that we know each other? And
I've been so disappointed with how
What?
people are cleaning their windows in Zimbabwe,
Eh,
and I
stop
know
judging
a lot
us.
of a lot of people are having
the
accidents.
newspaper and things. Those things
Leave
work
us
well.
with mutton
Leave
call.
us
Leave us
alone.
with mutton call.
You cannot see, guys, the road. It's been a terrible drive.
Leave us. And you don't want to see us when it's been raining and then the windscreen gets foggy. You do not want to know how we are getting that fog out. You do not want to know. Also, still to come, we're quite excited, especially if you are a lover of raffle. By the way, Tav told us a few weeks ago what RAV stands for. Do you still remember what RAV stands for? 0719-100-40. I'm asking you because Toyota itself is giving us an evolution to this car. And Tav, talk to us about the new raffle that's on offer. We're hearing it's scheduled to launch on the 21st of May. That's not too far away from
Not
now.
very far,
We're
yeah.
hearing it's a hybrid. It's got a plug-in powertrain. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, so the new raffle has been announced or teased because we have not yet seen the images for this car yet. It's just been teaser images. I think most of the pictures online right now of the teasers are mostly the interior, which is looking, I must say, very good for a Japanese vehicle because the Japanese have been laggards in terms of adopting technology inside the cars.
Okay.
Listen, Japanese interiors are a bit boring.
Yeah.
Very practical, very functional,
Yeah.
not exciting.
Yes.
But they lost the test of time, which is good for them, but it's nice to see them putting in modern features. So the teasers, and I'm hoping this translates to the actual car, incorporates a lot of technology in terms of displays, larger displays and infotainment systems. They maintain buttons, which is very nice. Modern cars tend to be going away and coming back from buttons inside, so it looks good. But in terms of what the vehicle looks like from the outside, you can't really tell. All the pictures I've been able to see have been aerial shots, so you really can't tell it from anything else.
Okay, but
But we expect fireworks. It's a completely new redesign in terms of what the RAV4 was. We talked about the RAV4 last week. It was our classic car of the week, and it was known for just being practical and getting the job done.
Yeah.
That's his heritage. That's his history. That's his overall.
But it's been
design.
attractive. I'm not
It's
necessarily
become-
sure how I feel about the new design. When I say new design in the Zimbabwean context, like the newer RAV we've seen, it seems like it's moved away from the much,
Yes.
rounded cheeks. You get used to the new look, but it doesn't quite feel like it's a RAV. It feels like a Toyota crossover or something
Yeah,
new.
it's a crossover
Not-
sport
right?
looking like
Not a RAV.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's it now becoming attractive. The initial one, guys, let's be very honest, that was not a very attractive car, but it got the job done very well.
It got us
That
to
was
the
that was the
groceries.
appeal.
It got us to
That
the
was the appeal
groceries.
of it. That was the appeal of
I
it.
thought when it initially started, when it was like a two-door, it was very attractive. When they then made it like a complete crossover, mini crossover, a mini SUV, I did not like it. And then they evolved the design a little bit. The one that looks similar to the Vanguard that's very popular on our road, but it's not the Vanguard. I quite like that one. The new one, I'm not
Edgy.
very sure.
Edgy.
And when I say new one, I don't mean the 2025 one. I mean the one before the 2025 one.
Very
I'm not
edgy,
sure.
yeah. Very
Now, if
nice.
anything, looking at how the Toyota Prado, the latest one is looking, like you're saying, very boxy. I want to go with boxy and linear. I'm then wondering what the RAV is going to look like.
I think it's going to draw elements from that. So every car manufacturer has its design language.
Right.
That's what identifies the car. You can go to Dynamic Shield, I think it's Mitsubishi. Something like mechanics of motion. If you're looking at your alphas and things of that nature, there's a design language that's very highly unique to these vehicles. So when they bring the new versions of a car, it follows suit with what the premium models look like, and it carries down to the smaller cars. Toyota has been going edgy, straight, and strong character lines. I see the RAV4 being that, just very boxy. It adds, it's a good thing. Boxy cars mean there's space inside.
All right. So I'm thinking in terms of the class that's in, I'm thinking CX-5, I'm thinking about the Honda CR-V, which we touched on last week. Do you think it's going to be competitive? Is it going to be ahead of the pack, or it's just going to disappear within the lot?
We have to wait and see. So the 21st is a big day because we get to know more about the vehicle in terms of what it's going to bring. One thing that everyone's talking about, and I keep telling people this, they don't listen, that is tipped to have a hybrid option throughout the entire range, with a plug-in hybrid at higher level trim level models. So that means we talked about this last week and the week before and the months before. Hybrid is becoming a conversation. Now that's for your European markets, Asian markets, and maybe your bulk markets, where hybrid is tipped to be the only, it's going to be standard throughout the range. But now for our market here in Southern Africa, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because the 2-liter configuration is fine, but with the if you add hybrid to it, it adds efficiency and it adds power. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. So Toyota, the big dogs in Africa, biggest by themselves, they're now bringing a very popular vehicle with potentially hybrid-only technology as the powertrain.
All right, so we've got like 60 minutes left of Under the Hood. We're talking this morning about Toyota's new drop that's going to be hitting our markets on the 21st of May. We're expecting to see a hybrid, a hybrid powertrain. We're hoping to see base petrol engines also. I'm not sure if they're completely out of our markets. Shabona. We're also seeing Toyota possibly even updating their inside cabins. And we are, talking about better materials, maybe even a sleeker dashboard, as stuff was highlighting. And as everybody's doing, creating those spaceship infotainment screens, Toyota is also giving us something quite like that. Literally from a car detailer's point of view, whenever there's like an upgrade in interior, well, like, what are you, in your mind, what are you hoping for? What are you excited about?
I'm hoping they have a more child-friendly interior. So less holes on the chairs. Have you noticed that there's some leather chairs? They've got little holes to breathe.
Yes.
And I'm like, why? If a child spills in there, then your electronics are gone. So I really hope they consider weatherproofing inside the cars.
Yeah.
Also, there's another fabric that's very hard to vacuum out dirt. I really hope they consider a good material for carpets. That's my take.
So, just before we get into that last piece of news, and this one is more local, Taff, what is our car icon of the day?
Our car icon of the day is not a car at all. It's a motorbike. And this one is a classic one. Big shout out to Unruly TJ and his biker friends out there who have influenced us looking at classic motorbikes as opposed to classic vehicles. And this one is 100% a classic. And the clues, I guess, for people to guess what it is it is named after a bird of prey and known for its speed. Its top speed was limited after a gentleman's agreement to 299 kilometers per hour. Remember, was limited to 299 kilometers per hour after a gentleman's agreement because they said it was too fast. Its engine displacement is just over 1000 cc, and it's very aerodynamic in shape, and its shape was influenced by aerodynamic to encourage better aerodynamics on this vehicle as opposed to beauty. It was also introduced in very, very late 1999.
All right, 0719 100 Protap is giving you all the clues in one go. Let's see if you can catch anything today. It's not a car, it's a bike. Now, if you are a biker, you consider yourself he who loves to hit the road in your leather and your helmet. Let's see how well you know your bikes. 0719 100 404. Now, let's come back closer to home. There's talk of retesting of driver's license holders in Zimbabwe. Imagine a world, as you're listening in, where you have to be retested. You have to go through medical checks, vision tests. You even have to take a new photo every few years. What do you think about this? Tap, give us more details on this story.
Yeah, so this is not new. It was something that was mentioned some time back. I can't remember the timelines, but this is something that was hinted at, that people should, or potential for retests for driver's licenses. So don't worry, everyone. You don't have to do a road test again. Mm-hmm. If you've been driving for 20 years, we assume you're a good driver, or at least we hope you're a good driver. But it's more so to do with your ability to drive. So like Folake was mentioning, your vision checks, your health checks, and this is not to deter people and say, oh, listen, we want to get people off the road, but just to make sure that you are a good driver. For me, it comes down, or at least is influenced by the current driving culture in the country, and where people tend to blur the lines and the rules of the road, and the culture has become somewhat of a bad culture when it comes to driving. This is just to reaffirm that you are fit to drive and maybe give you potential time to be told about the proper ways to drive in case, you may be cautioned. And I believe a point system or something of that nature might be introduced as well to maybe keep people in line in terms of keeping them good drivers, responsible drivers on our roads. Mm-hmm. I think this is a good move. People tend to change how they look as they age. Our vision diminishes.
What if I looked how I looked when I was younger?
Good genetics. Say thanks to the parents.
No. I said, what if I like how I looked when I was younger and I don't want to change my
The officer might not know.
What if I've gained weight and I just don't like how I look now?
Well, it won't be every year. I think
I get that, but my question still remains. If I liked how I looked 10 years ago, 5 years ago, now
Well, how you looked 10 years ago doesn't influence how you drive. So we want to know that it's still you. And we need to see the current version of you.
Question. If you're listening in, have you ever had someone say it's not you on your driver's license photo? Like they were totally convinced, I'll see whip up picture, and you were paying to say, listen, it is me. Did this happen to you? 0719 100 404. Do you think this is bold, especially in terms of road safety, or is it just becoming an administrative nightmare? 0719 100 404. Lily, do you think this is a bold move, a necessary one in terms of road safety? And I'm trying to see how this is, in terms of road safety, how that's getting us better driving, or whatever it is you want to call it.
It is so necessary. I did not like it when I had to deal with it in Canada, but it made so much sense.
How so?
Because as you age, yes, you do deteriorate, unfortunately. And some people are very, I would say, complacent about getting glasses, reading glasses, or visual glasses. I've heard a lot of people complaining about night vision. They don't take care of themselves. So something like this could help them get into rehab classes to train them more on how to handle.
You're in Canada, okay? You are right in Southampton, 1027 Masoroze. You get your retest, want to go to Masakwa, Chabo, Nisha, 10 years ago. What rehab is coming your way? There's no rehab coming.
Dr. Chairman, doctor, optician, I gotta make an appointment because my health, it might risk somebody else's life.
Okay, so let's say your eyesight has become impaired. What impact does that have on the renewal of your license? Are they going to say we're not renewing it until you come back with glasses? Or
yes, that's how it happens. So you have to go and now defend your case and fix yourself, and then go back again, get retested, and then voila, here's your license again.
Yes, it's Zimbabwe.
It's a very good way to make money move again. Yeah.
And so why not also change your national ID picture? It's a valid point.
Could be that as
your passport picture, okay, I guess it's 10 years later and then you have to get it changed. Fine, all right. Because the retesting is good, but let's not beat, I think you meant to say, beat about the bush. We all know which age groups are being the strippers on the road. Let's deal with them. Some of them don't even have licenses. I'm actually curious to know from you which age group you think that is. 0719 100 404. And what do you think dealing with them would be like? It's another age group. I'm trying to figure out which age
I don't know which.
That one is.
I would like to think I'm in that age group. I have a feeling I know which age group they're talking about. Right. I want to be in it.
Right. So, how do we deal with that? All right. So you're saying, thank goodness someone agrees with me. We don't need to go for a retest. by tuduku tukwaenga. Okay, this is my
There you go.
assumption. This is my
Your
assumption.
perception.
My assumption. Ndo tikufanwa kuonekwa kuti tunoitwa retest. Okay, I'm still trying to. I get what you mean. Identifying unfit drivers on the road. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. I
And
feel
the
like
system has to come with a way that, when they have, if they can put the points form, where if you're caught in a bad accident or in an accident at all, for little frivolous things or big ones, it should be noted. And a police officer should have a way to look on his phone to see misdemeanor situations, or when they're going for the test. How come you had all these situations, buddy? You need to get off the road.
actually,
So,
Kai pakachengetedzwa record yotu dhuma tose twatirikuita pamukwa.
well, I like
Database.
I like the system somewhat for one reason, that it makes sure that someone is fit to drive in terms of your ability as a person, like your functions, like ability to turn left and right, to see. It's very important. Remember, driving is literally everyday driving is just you controlling the car to avoid an accident. That's what driving is. You're just avoiding accidents continuously. So if you are in a position where you can't see properly, anything puts you at a higher risk of causing an accident, then you have to think about public health and safety, and then your responsibility towards that.
Yeah.
So if you can curb that, and I'm pro anything that translates to a safer roads for everyone, not just the driver, everyone. It's a good thing.
0719100404. Are you seeing this as a good thing for us as a country, or do you think it might just become an administrative hassle? The idea that you and I will need to go through retesting of our road competency. 0719100404. We want to hear your thoughts on that. And I'm also curious, if you're somebody who's older, right? Our moms, our dads, Nana Sekuru, and if you are, say, a professional driver or no driver, would that not also have an impact on you in terms of how you make money if for say you don't pass this retest?
So
What
what
does this
happens
mean?
when you can afford more meals and you gain weight, or when you were skinny before and now you can afford to eat more and you gain weight, and you obviously go buy new clothes. So same thing with the driving. As you sing happy birthday to you.
Get you. Yeah, you're not playing games. Really, you're not.
I think you're supporters of it. And
Yeah.
if we talk about the commercial application, retest already exists in the public for public transport sector.
Drivers?
Yes, retest.
This
Just to-
kind of retest?
Yes, just for ability, because the demands on the roads for them are different from me and you, because these guys spend so much more time on the road and they're more prone to accidents and in some cases causing accidents.
Right, they're more prone to road crashes.
Yes, so
The
retest for
correct
them
term
also
is-
good for their visions and everything.
And they have a lot of back pain issues. So a lot of them are on medications that we don't know about. They get frustrated on the roads. They need to be tested for emotional issues as well.
The emotional side, I think I can leave it out, because I think every driver is emotional, especially in Harare.
So it's interesting in terms of our car icon of the week. Nobody has come through to get that right. Hanzi zvinozva tinongoti tabuda muVID tinenge tava kudriva maautomatic cars saka ndosaka tiri kuramba. That's also very interesting, because in other countries now you can actually go for your test in an auto car. Nobody is still wondering gear shift, because it's like so old school.
There was also talk about that as well, introduction of automatic vehicle only license in Zimbabwe. It'll be interesting to see how far those talks have gone, because the war is coming. Like it or not, manual gearbox cars are dying. They're going to be non-existent in X number of years. So automatic gearboxes make sense. It's future forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
But
it's
also, I think it wouldn't hurt just to know how to drive a manual car. I have a friend. I won't mention his name, but he was a regular guest on my Friday show. No black filter, etc. My stuff, but he used to come a lot on that show. He likes to wear black a lot. I discovered he can drive an automatic car, but can't drive a stick shift. And I know this because on one of the days I needed him to drive a manual car on my behalf, and he's like, nada.
the
It
question,
can't.
the question
And I
is,
was like, what do you mean?
Oh
the
no.
question is, why were you asking him to drive the manual car on your behalf?
Because I had another car.
Ah, right,
So I needed him to drive the other car. But the other car was a manual car.
right.
Lo and behold, he could not drive her. manual car.
So did they get their license out of Zimbabwe?
So
or?
this is the question now to say, well, so are you a competent driver or not? Because let's be honest, with an automatic car, are you really driving? But you're driving, but you're not driving. You know what I mean?
And we get this a lot at test drives. I think people who work at dealerships will say the same thing. When people come to test of a car, and let's say the demo car we have on hand because it's cheaper to have a manual vehicle is manual. People are like, you can't. Like, you've got a driver's license. I've forgotten. Is usually the answer. And yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm lucky that I changed.
My gear.
I go from manual to automatic vehicles.
I know gonna.
The Chinese from gear 1 say
Pressure
me 2 me
Pressure
3.
zero, Kasaka.
But Tindo, our digital guy is also nodding. Is it? You've got a license, Tindo, and you're sure?
Yeah, the clutch. You know, there's a missing pedal. There's a missing pedal.
Still.
And that the leg is not used to moving around, you know.
Ray, good morning. And the idea of retest is very good. I'm worried on the state of preparedness for the issuing board. I'm not sure if the backlog in my plastic driver's license has been cleared. And now, if it's now about renewing it, could this mean there's like this would need to triple their capacity rate? And this is exactly why we're asking, is this not an administrative nightmare for us? I feel like that's madness. If death sentence could not reduce crime of murder, what makes you think retesting is going to reduce road traffic crashes? And the parliament must refuse this.
Very strong views on it.
Yeah, but it is a very interesting take. We're going to keep watching this and see what the ultimate position becomes. And as for you, do you think retest is important? Are you tired of chasing payments? Are you struggling to reconcile payments? Well, say hello to Pay Now, Bill Pay. It's the smarter way of businesses getting paid. We help businesses get paid fast and help customers pay with ease. Pay Now's unified platform lets you collect payments effortlessly. Pay Now makes payment collections seamless through mobile money.